Well, hello, everybody. That was super fun. I just did a 20-minute live micro training for everybody and realized that even though my software said everything was streaming, and I quote perfectly, that it didn't stream at all. And then the recording was messed up as well, so I couldn't even post that. So let's start this bad boy again because I think this is going to be really valuable for you. Hi, my name is Dave D from DaveD.com, where we help you get more clients faster, increase your income through the art and science of one-to-many selling. Today's topic is all about the call to action. And I've got 8 specific points that I'm going to share with you about how by just improving the call to action, you'll increase the amount of sales that you get. So let's define sales to get started. Sales could mean selling your audience on scheduling an appointment with you, scheduling a consultation with you. Sales could mean actually making a sale where someone is giving you a credit card for your product or service. But the truth is, most people have anemic calls to action, which hurts their sales, and they don't even realize it. So today we are going to fix that, because if you've got a weak call to action, what's happening is someone who may have gone ahead and done what you want them to do and bought from you or scheduled a consultation from you isn't going to. So as we go through the 8 points that I'm going to share with you here today in this micro training, what we want to do is we want to make sure that your calls to action match up with these 8 points, because just a little tweak in your call to action will really improve your results. Now, the truth is, a lot of people do really great presentations. They may even have a really good call to action, but they have a really good close, they've got a really good offer, but their call to action is weak, and therefore their sales are weak. So let's go over the first point. And by the way, you may see me looking down because I'm referring to my handy dandy notes here so I don't forget anything. So the first thing we're going to talk about, though, when you do your call to action is confidence. Your confidence level, meaning how forceful you are when telling people what to do. If you lack confidence during your call to action, it is going to dramatically hurt your sales. So you want to increase your confidence level. And so when you're telling people what to do, be crisp, be clear, be powerful. The second tip when it comes to doing your call to action, and this may be one that sounds a little bit weird and it's kind of hard to explain, but once you get it, your sales will improve from every one-to-many presentation you do, whether it's a webinar, whether it's in person, or whether it's on a video. And that is the projection of your energy to where you want it to go. So, and again, I know this sounds like a little metaphysical and woo-woo, but it's the truth and it works. So if you want your audience to go to the back of the room to schedule a consultation with you, or to buy your product or service, or to fill out an order form, you actually want to project from here energy out to the back of the room. You want to send your voice to the back of the room. Your body language should indicate that you are going to the back of the room. Okay? So again, really super important that you do that. Really super important that you do that. Project that energy to the back of the room. Now, let's say you're doing a webinar. How do you do that? Well, let's say you have a call to action button which appears on the screen at a certain amount of time. Okay, so then what you want to do in that scenario is you want to use your language and your eyes to project energy down to that button. So if I know the button is appearing on the screen right there, when I do my call to action and I tell people what I want them to do, I will look down at that button and I will tell them to click that button. And I'm actually using my hands, I'm just doing it naturally now, to send that energy back down to the room. Okay, so super important. Now, again, I know it seems metaphysical, it seems kind of weird, but it works. That energy projection, and what happens is it also comes across as confidence. So step number 1 is your confidence level. Number 2 is when you're doing your call to action, project your energy where you want people to go. Third, and this is where almost everybody messes up, And that is doing a very, very strong and specific call to action, telling people exactly what you want them to do. And I mean telling them exactly what you want them to do. Okay? So you want to, when you're doing this, if you want them to go to the back of the room, for example, to schedule that appointment with you, you tell them, okay, everybody, now it's time to stand up. Everybody stand up, turn around, Mary, wave Mary. That's Mary. Now go up, walk down back to Mary, and she will schedule your consultation. Or stand up, go to the back of the room. You can see we've got a bunch of people in the back there with clipboards. They have your enrollment form. Make sure you go back there, get one of those enrollment forms, and then fill it out like this. And then typically what I do is I have a copy of the enrollment form on my slide, which is animated, which shows people how to fill it out. So I don't want to leave anything to chance. If you're doing a webinar, you tell people, okay, so what you want to do is you want to take your mouse and you want to bring it over to the order button. You want to click that button that says, yes, Dave, I want more clients. So take your mouse, click that button that says, I want more clients. Or if you don't have a button, you're just using a URL, you tell them, okay, so here's what you need to do right now. Open up a new browser window. Open up a new browser window right now and then type in www.ultimatewebinarsystem.com. That's www.ultimatewebinarsystem.com. So give precise instructions. If there is any ambiguity, then you are going to lose sales because people will take the path of least resistance. And the path of least resistance is not doing anything. So be crystal clear on your instructions. Step number 4 is to tell them precisely what's going to happen when they take the action that you have just told them to take. A lot of people leave this out. And again, if they're surprised, if the audience is wondering, well, what's going to happen when I click this button? What's going to happen when I give you my credit card? What's going to happen when I schedule the appointment? Tell people exactly what's going to happen. So let's just use a webinar example. And let's say that we've just done a presentation. We've done a short form webinar, for example. And it's a video. It's a short webinar, 17 minutes, 12 to 17 minutes. And we want the next step is we want them to schedule a consultation with us. So you would tell them, okay, click the button that says, yes, Dave, let's chat. Now, what's going to happen is you'll be taken to a very simple questionnaire. There's only 5 questions on it. Don't worry, none of the questions are hard, but it'll help me prepare for our consultation so we can get the most time out of it. So click the button, and then you're going to answer these 5 simple questions. It's only going to take you about 2 minutes. And then you'll be redirected automatically. You're not going to have to do anything to my calendar, my personal calendar. And so you can pick out a time that works best for us so we can talk via Zoom. All right. So do you see how that specific that was? The person knows exactly what's going to happen when they click that button. No surprises, no ambiguity, crystal clear. Paint the vision for them so they don't have to wonder about anything. If you're selling a product, for example, and they're clicking the button, you say, okay, you're going to click the button that you see on the screen right now that says enroll now. You'll be taken to the enrollment form. Fill out the enrollment form. You're going to put in your name, your email address. Make sure the email address is correct because that's how we're going to get you instant access to your online course. Also, here's a secret. You want to enter the promo code XYZ where it says promo code. That's going to take $200 off. So click the button right now, complete the enrollment form, submit it, and you're going to get instant access to the entire course. All right, so very, very specific calls to action. The next thing on our hit parade here is 5th is to reiterate your offer and close again. Reiterate and do another call to action. I typically close at least 3 times before moving on to the next section of my presentation. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, the next section of your presentation, what are you talking about? I thought after I closed, that was it. Oh no, Contraire, my friend, it is not the end. I'm going to tell you what the end actually is and what you do after you close. But this point number, I think I'm on 5, is to reiterate the offer, close again. And you want to do that at least 3 times. You want to have at least 3 specific calls to action before you move on to the next section. And so you want to talk about what the offer is. You want to talk about what the benefits are. You want to talk about what the transformation is. By the way, a little tip, the final thing I talk about is the actual transformation that the person is going to have. And then I do a call to action. The sixth part of your presentation is the answering of questions. So it's not done after your final call to action. You can make a lot of extra sales, and in some cases, more sales during the Q&A section of a webinar or an in-person presentation if you do it right. Now, this is kind of a bonus tip, and we can get into more depth if you guys are interested in something like this. I'll do a micro training on it. But just the overview is when you do your call to action, your final call to action before you get to your Q&A, then you're going to answer questions, but not until you've done that final third call to action, at least 3. If you're doing an in-person presentation, do not do it from the front of the stage. You want to do it wherever people are supposed to go for whatever the next step is. So if you told them to go see Mary in the back of the room, before you answer question number 1, you should go to the back of the room. That's where you're going to answer the question. Big bonus tip, keep your microphone on and make sure that you tell the AV not only to keep your microphone on, but to make sure they don't turn the damn music on. That is the worst. I'm telling you, if you're working with an AV team, you got to tell them, because when they see you come off the stage, they put up the music, and that indicates that's the end. It's not the end. We want to go to the back of the room. We want to answer people's questions in the back of the room with our microphone on so everybody else can hear, because it's another opportunity, almost a subliminal way to continue the sale. If you're doing a webinar, you've done at least your third call to action, you go to questions, then about every 2 questions, you do the call to action again. The point of the Q&A is to close more sales. So the 7th tip relates to the 6th tip, and the 7th tip is to keep your slide up that has your offer on it and has the call to action on it. So whether you're doing an in-person presentation or you're doing a webinar, that slide that reiterates everything and has a call to action on it should remain up for the entire time. I've seen some people take that slide down, right, and put up a slide that says Q&A time, or now it's time for question and answers. That's crazy. Don't do that. Keep the slide with the offer on it and the call to action. Here's another bonus tip for you. So this bonus tip is, once you do the call to action, make sure the call to action is on all of the subsequent slides. So once you've revealed what the offer is and you've done your first call to action, that call to action should be on every single slide from there until the very end of the presentation. All right. And so now the 8th tip is another bonus tip for you. And this is a really, really good one. And it has to do with your attitude about closing the sale and about the call to action. And here is what it is. What you should be doing is not caring a bit whether somebody buys or whether they don't buy. That should be your attitude. And let me make it even stronger for you. You don't need them. You don't need their money. They need you. Now, that's not obviously what you're going to say to the audience. However, that is what you are going to feel inside here. Remember, tip number 2 was about energy. This is about energy as well. If you come, and you've seen speakers, right? You can tell that they need the sale. And if you've got any neediness in you, that is going to be projected into the audience, because remember, one-to-many selling in great part is about energy, the energy that you feel. So if you, God, I need the sale, The audience is going to feel that on a subconscious level, and it's going to hurt your sales. So your attitude, which will translate into your energy, is I don't need them. I'm offering them something so good, so life-changing, so powerful. I've got the solution to the problem that they're seeking, right? They need me. That eliminates all neediness. And then when you do your call to action, it loops back around to the very first tip that I gave you, which was your confidence level. Okay, so those are 8 tips about a call to action. As I said at the very beginning of this micro training, what you want to do is you absolutely positively want to go through your calls to action and see if they match up with these 8 points that I just made. If they don't, my strongest recommendation is for you to restructure this because it works. Restructure your call to action so you have all 8 of these elements in place, and you will see a dramatic increase in the amount of conversions that you get. By the way, if you like this stuff and you would love to learn how to attract more clients with literally less time and with less effort, then I recommend you go to ultimatewebinarsystem.com. That's ultimatewebinarsystem.com. When you go there, you're going to get instant access to a 12-minute webinar, which takes you through an incredible new model for getting people to opt in to your list and schedule consultations. It's absolutely free. So what you want to do is go to ultimatewebinarsystem.com, ultimatewebinarsystem.com, and you'll get access to this 12-minute short webinar, which goes through the entire model. So once again, go to ultimatewebinarsystem.com. Now, do you notice what I just did there? If you're astute, you'll notice that I just did my call to action 3 times, and I told you specifically what was going to happen when you go to ultimatewebinarsystem.com. Wait a minute, that was a 4th call to action now, wasn't it? Okay. All right, so I hope you got a ton of value from this. If you've got any questions, since this is the 2nd time I'm doing this presentation, because the first time it did not stream properly, I will be happy to answer your questions. Yeah, hey, John, you are welcome. And hey, Raphael, good to see you. Good. Thank you. Thank you for the nice comment. If you guys got any questions, Elena says, I missed the beginning. Can I get a replay, please? Yes. Hopefully everything is working now in its proper fashion. And this will be right on my Facebook page. I'm also going to put it on my YouTube page as well. So yes, if you just come back here, it takes a little bit of time to process, but you'll be able to see this. And guys, I apologize if you showed up here at noon and were expecting it. I did the entire presentation at noon, and everything told me it was streaming perfectly, but it was not. So I wanted to do it again for you and do it live in case you have any questions. So if you guys have any questions, enter them in. If not, if you like this video, then like it, give it a heart, give it a thumbs up, comment, share it with people. But most importantly, take the information that I gave you here today and implement it. It'll make a really big difference in your webinars, in your in-person presentations, and in your videos. So thanks so much for watching. And as always, kick butt and make mucho dinero. Talk to you soon.